large Head Start program. We have about 850 Head Start slots across Marion and Polk County. And that program has been very successful historically in helping people get out of poverty. We run, as part of our broader housing and homeless division, a lot of youth work. We have two runaway and homeless youth shelters. One is called Taylor's House. It's here in Marion County. It's in Salem. It's a 10-bed facility for ages 11 to 17. You know, there's more street youth than there's ever been in the past, so that's been a real need to provide shelter for that population. We're opening next month a new one out in Monmouth. That's another 10-bed facility. It'll be for a little bit older population, but still minor youth. So we run that in addition to a lot of family-based child care services, nutrition programs, training and technical assistance programs, so that family-based child care providers can afford to run their business and also have all the certifications they need to stay compliant with the state obligations. And then the last one there at the very top is our adult homeless services, and this is one of our largest divisions. It includes what you may know as Arches in Salem. And it has an extraordinary impact across the community. Let's skip to the next slide, please. I will say before I hand it over to Ashley that the agency takes diversity, equity, inclusion work very seriously. We have a significant internal and a significant external dimensions to that particular work. About nearly half of our employees are people of color. More than half of the people who receive our services are people of color. So this is a very critical part of the design of our work and the mission of our work. And we believe in a kind of economic and racial justice that we're trying to encourage across the community. So this is a very critical part of our identity and a very critical part of the way we design our work. Next slide, please. Okay, Ashley.
Take it away. Not a lot of movement there. Okay. All right, feel free to let me know to speak louder. Sometimes I can get a little faint. So I'm going to take over the part of the presentation really introducing some of our homeless and housing work through Community Action Agency. So as Jimmy outlined, that division particularly is known as Arches. That's the most common name for out in our community. Arches is the department which runs a robust network of homeless and housing services which really focus on four main pillars. The first being basic needs, so that's your provision of shelter, food, access to restrooms and laundry services. The second piece then being supportive services, so helping people attain benefits, even working on vocational rehabilitation, veterans benefits through the VA, things owed to our veterans as they have served our country. And then that third pillar is the identification, triage, and then prioritization of individuals or households into housing programs that best suit their needs. So it's a very methodical process, which we'll get into a little later, putting people into a housing solution that is ultimately going to make them most successful and aligning to that self-sufficiency objective, really core to who Community Action Agency is. And lastly, that fourth pillar, the most important pillar and the answer to homelessness, which is housing. So operating a variety of short-term, long-term housing solutions for our community. The reason I have this slide up here today is another piece to this, and what's important to Arches is geographic equity. We do believe it is our duty to make sure our services are accessible not only to persons of color or nation of origin, family size, and households. We also want to make sure that our services are accessible to everyone we serve in Marion and Polk counties. A while ago, we kind of restricted back into serving a lot of our urban communities down in Salem, so you see that's the majority of our shelter projects and work. But now is the time to really step out and make sure that we're addressing the needs of our community as a whole. So it was really important for us to seek an opportunity in Woodburn, and I think that was in alignment with what your city administrator was speaking to earlier. Slide, please. I do want to dive into some of the work that Arches is currently doing. What I want to point out firstly is when people think of Arches, it is really common to imagine the day center that is located downtown in Salem. It's hard to miss. When you're driving down Commercial, you're heading towards the mall, going into South Salem, you see the day center and you see the Arches logo, and that's what you're going to associate is the bulk of our work. It is absolutely a critical intervention point for persons experiencing homelessness, but is very much designed that way. It is the lowest barrier service we have because it acts as the gateway to everything else that we do and things that you don't see happening in our community. So we want to make sure it's accessible to anyone regardless of where they're at in their homeless experience. And there we're providing showers, laundry, 100,000 meals a year. So on average, we see 137 daily users to that space and have had a 28% increase in our daily utilization just over the last year. Slide, please. And as I spoke to, the day center is by design supposed to be incredibly visible in the community. We want it to be a beacon and the start of the homeless services and the continuum of offerings that we have in Community Action Agency. So moving along that continuum, once there's that identification process within the day center, we want to start talking about shelter options locally. So getting people into a space where they are safe and we can start addressing those social determinants of health and even working up towards those long-term housing options. A couple of those here locally in Salem, for example, include the Arches Inn and the Arches Lodge. Jimmy spoke to those a little briefly. Those are our project turnkey locations where we were able to acquire 85% of all of our residents at these locations engage with those on-site services regularly. And as you can see here, we do have a little bit of Woodburn participation in these project turnkey sites. They've been open for about a year, maybe a little longer, depending on the location. We've had
Cannabis
of community so you're not going to be confusing people going from one location to the next. It's already So we have willing partners and entities coming to the table to make this project a success. And then there's amenities, thanks to the partnership with the city of Woodburn. There have been several amenities already instilled in place, so that commercial kitchen already set up to serve people their breakfast and dinner meals. It has the ADA restrooms, which is so critical for residents who may have mobility needs. And of course, the commercial set of washer and dryers. And then lastly, it's near the bus line, and it's just ready for a shelter opportunity here in the future. Slide, please. So going over some project specifics, we are proposing a 7-day-a-week managed temporary shelter. That is the project style. It would operate at night, so it's a little different than the day center services that are actively going on currently. So focus on those Monday through Saturday hours of 7 p.m. till 10 a.m. And then on Sundays, it would close a little earlier in the morning to allow for church services to continue in the atrium space. Slide, please. The priority populations would be individuals in your community already. Slide, please. How this will be accomplished is through three main bed types. So the first main bed type is through a commercial grade tent. So our proposal will have three of these commercial grade tents set up in the parking lot. Each of them can hold roughly 6 to 7 beds, depending on which bed is determined the ADA bed for those extra width for people to be able to access those tents are heated, so they connect to a heating element, and so they can stay up to 70 degrees even below freezing outside. And so there's going to be cots and bedding inside, as well as staff in those locations themselves for a high degree of visibility. The second style that we'll have on site is a safe parking element. So this would be allowing families only, so households with dependent children, rather than going into the congregate tent. They would be able to stay in their cars. This is not the preferred model for individual households. There's just a line of sight and management concerns, so we wouldn't be able to help either someone was in crisis or prevent, but with children, we don't want to be bringing them into a congregate style environment in the tents. We want to be able to keep them in the able to use the inside atrium when temperatures do drop into activation range and be able to maximize the space up to 16 beds. And so the 16 beds would be contingent on weather, and then the other two, the exterior beds and the car camping spaces would be year-round, 7 days a week. Next slide, please. Yes, that's a great clarification. So the tents themselves are temporary structure, so they would be erected every night. Staff would arrive at 6 p.m. and get them set up for that 7 p.m. opening, and they'd be taken down every morning at 10 a.m. or the 7 a.m. for the Sunday service. Those tents take about 6 to 10 minutes to go up and down. We're still perfecting that at this point. Yeah, but they can go up pretty swiftly, especially if you have the right amount of FTE, full-time employees to put them up, take them up and down, and they'll be stored inside during the day when not in use. This is the proposed site map. As you can see, there's the church building there, which houses the current resource center, which would be made available to residents during certain indoor specified hours earlier in the evening and in the early morning. Those 5 dedicated parking spaces set away from the tent. Again, if there is children on site, and then the tent themselves would be towards, I believe it's the south side of the parking lot. There is a dedicated fire lane that we've been working really closely with your local fire marshal to make sure that meets local code, and there's not going to be any access issues. And then garbage dumpsters for any debris. What this map doesn't show is we will be erecting a fence around the property, just to help. It only helps with the traffic of individuals, making sure people aren't coming and going during the day, but it also helps with the optics of how the property will look during both the day and the night. Go ahead. Some on-site services. So we know there's a commercial kitchen, so there will be a guaranteed dinner and hot breakfast for our residents. Access to showers both in those evening and morning times, laundry and restroom access, but the most important element to this, and kind of going back to community action's vision, this is more than just a managed temporary shelter. This is the start of the continuum into
Our Follow
schedule feet